Good morning, St. Francis. Good morning, people of God. It is Monday, the 15th day of September 2025. Monday of the 24th week of the year, the 24th week in Ordinary Time. But it is also the day in which we honor another understanding of Mary as Our Lady of Sorrows. This day that follows upon the triumph of the cross. This is also the feast day of the Congregation of Holy Cross, both priests and brothers in Notre Dame, University of Portland, those kinds of places like that. To remember the Holy Cross movement, Holy Cross congregations on this day. This memorial, it is an important memorial because, again, it's connected with she who was also standing at the foot of the cross, when Jesus was crucified. It kind of gets in the way, though, of the understanding of the triumph of the cross, because we want to focus on this day on Mary and her pain, and watching her son be crucified, but also the other pains that she experienced in her life because Jesus was rejected and not understood and things like that. So it becomes a very complicated kind of memorial to celebrate. It has gone under many different titles. Our Lady of Compassion, which would probably be the better way of understanding this day, but then it was also the seven sorrows of Mary, all kinds of things like that, perhaps beginning sometime in the Middle Ages, maybe the 1100s or something like that, but then gaining more and more emphasis, particularly as some church leaders, again, saw the world, moving into chaos, into hell in a handbasket, because everything was so wrong, especially during the times of the religious revolts, and then basically even the loss of kind of a quote-unquote Christianized Europe when the revolutions were happening in Europe over in the 1800s and things like that. So throwing Mary into this mix is not really fair to her, or it's also not even fair basically to her own to her own legacy in what it is. She was not just a person who cried and lamented all her life. She could not be that, because you couldn't get anything done if you're crying and lamenting all of your life. So it's important to remember all of these again as we move into this second of these days, which are now going to be a number of days that kind of we celebrate manifestations again of God's love, present on the cross, but also again, pointing us to resurrection and new life. One of the things that's important to look out, here I am in New Jersey, and the beach is empty in New Jersey. You usually don't get to see that, but in September it is wonderfully empty, so everyone has gone home, and it's nice. So here we are. Okay, so the first reading is still a continuation of the reading that we began on Friday and then Saturday from the first letter to Timothy. Again, I found out, because you look it up, because that's what you have to do at times. You have to research, because research is very good, and it's good to do it on your own and not ask a computer program to do it for you. So the research. Timothy is actually one of the administrators of the Ephesian community, the church in Ephesus, and so this is who Paul is writing to, and Paul seems to be writing from Macedonia, again, another city in another area in Greece, and writing to Timothy again, asking Timothy to make sure that what is right and true about this tradition that is ours is being brought to the people and taught to them again and lived. One of the important things, again, that Paul says is that you need to pray for everybody. Again, as difficult as it is, but you pray for everybody, again, including leaders, including administrators, those who are not Christian, those who may be embracing Christianity in a different way. You pray for them. And the idea of the prayer is not that they maintain what they have, but always the idea of the prayer is that they be opened up to the more, that their own arrogance, their own pride, their own whatever it is might stop them from being able to be open to. Again, this is what we do, again, to pray for everybody, including your persecutors, to pray for everybody, especially those who don't agree with you, to pray for everybody when they might not have your best interests at heart. And that is a difficult thing for us to embrace always, but Paul is asking Timothy to make sure he reminds the community that that's what they are about. We are not a bubble within this world. We are not a protective layer within this world around ourselves. We are something that faces this world in all of its ups and downs, and all of its tragedies and travails, and all of its anxieties and stress, and show them that there is a different way of being and acting in this world, a different way of embracing, again, what it means to be human and who we are as human beings in this world. And so Paul is encouraging Timothy to do that. And again, gives an example, as Paul always does, of how he's done it, because Paul has always done it best. And so it just continues like that. We'll see more as we move through the week. The gospel, though, for today is one that is focused upon this memorial itself. And you have two choices. John 19, in which Mary is given to the Apostle John, behold your mother, behold your son, as Jesus is dying on the cross. Again, the sense in which Mary is given to us, not just to be the mother of Christ, but now to be our own mother, which is why she becomes Blessed Mother, because she is somebody who understands also what it means to be human, as well as Jesus does too. Again, always to remember, she is not standing in the place of Jesus, she's not overtaking Jesus, she is not becoming more approachable than Jesus is, but again, the sense in which now Jesus shares even his familial life with those who dare to believe and those who continue to accompany him on this journey. The second choice, though, is also from Luke's Gospel, from the very beginning of Luke's Gospel, chapter 2, in which Simeon is talking about the presentation of the Lord, in which Simeon is talking about Jesus to Mary and to Joseph, and basically says that he is going to be a sign to be contradicted, that he's going to be the thoughts of the hearts of many will lie open, to him, that he will be this movement in this world that, will be either accepted or rejected. And then says to Mary, and your heart a sword will pierce, which is, again, a weird thing to say. She and Joseph have just brought Jesus to the temple to fulfill one of the prescriptions of the Mosaic law, and now this guy is telling her that her life is going to be sad and whatever it is. But again, this sense in which Mary navigates these sorrows, and Mary is not just somebody who falls prey or falls victim to them. The Magnificat shows us that. The Magnificat stresses that. This is not a woman of feeble heart and mind. This is a woman of strength and of power. And even in the midst of sorrow, that power and that trust in God shines forth. A blessed day, St. Francis and people of God. May the Lord give you his peace.